All right. So now, as but not so joyous, I have to say, is the events occurring as I talk to you now in the Greymouth District Court. I imagine that's quite a bleak place to go, Greymouth. Well, the Greymouth District Court in Greymouth, where currently before the court there is a defendant by the name of I think his legal name is Howard Temple. He's 85 years of age, so he's an old man. And he is the spiritual leader after the death of, what was it, one of the other leaders there of the Gloriavale community in on the west coast. He has been charged with a variety of offences, and the Crown alleges that in this particular case, the Gloriavale leader preyed on young women, stroking their legs, grabbing them around the waist or by the dresses as they serve food, or while working in the kitchen, grabbing them from behind, kissing them on the neck, and groping them. As I understand, he isn't up for serious sexual offending, well, and that would be sort of rape, but for indecent assault and representative charges of doing indecent acts to 9 women who ranged in age from 9 to 20 years, the offending taking place between 1997 and 2022. Right, and so that's been played out. And so Gloriavale again appears in the news this time for this sort of event. I've got no intention of making a judgment onto this case. I'll let that to do with the judge. It's heard in front, in actual fact, it's being heard in front of a Judge Sol. There isn't a jury in this matter. But Gloriavale itself has appeared in the news, often in a very negative way, including their school that they run there failing a second audit from the Ministry of Education. I think that was last month. And about 2 months ago, Gloriavale made a public offer to personally apologise to victims of abuse at the Christian community. But a number of folk, including those, perhaps our next guest, regarded this as something of a PR stunt. But what is Gloriavale like? What's it like inside living there? Is this kind of behaviour that's alleged to have happened and is currently before the Greymouth District Court symptomatic of the area? Is it a healthy community in which to be raised? We're joined by a previous resident and somebody who's now on the outside, having left that closed community, Liz Gregory, and she joins us now. Liz, thank you so much for joining this afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. Good to be here. Can I just point out that I'm not a previous member of Gloriavale, but I run the Gloriavale Leavers Support Trust. So just important for your listeners to know that
yes, well, that is
we've
quite
worked
important to
closely
know.
with Leavers.
Okay.
It is. But for 12 years, we advocate. We've heard many of their stories.
All right. Why did you set up the trust then?
Because we had groups of people leaving around 12 years ago, coming to our local region, and some families came to our church, and it became very obvious that things were not okay with themselves and with the life they had led, and the stories they told were utterly horrifying. And yeah, one of the early ones was just exactly what's going on in court at the moment currently. There was the complete lack of boundaries and understanding of personal autonomy. There was a slavish system going on, and people were living under coercion, control, and fear. And it's been tragic to watch the consequences. But more than 300 people have left in the last 12 years, so there has been an outflow. But each group that goes, it's a terribly difficult decision. They don't leave until they're utterly desperate. And when they come, they've got no money, clothing, no substantial backing for themselves. But not only that, there was deprivation in the group. And then there was abuse, just massive, enormous, large numbers of some very, very serious abuse. So we
Okay.
needed to set
Now,
up a trust to raise
all right. So
funds
you
to
set up a
support those
trust, and what
leaders.
is the trust? So what does the trust actually do? What sort of support or advice does it provide?
Well, we go everything from doing pickups of people who want to leave to having them land here in different regions. We're based in South Canterbury. We've had a lot of families come through this region, maybe even land in our homes, some big families. A lot of singles leaving at the moment, so you're helping find somewhere for them to board. They might only be 16 or 17. Every 3 to 4 weeks, we've got a young person leaving at present. They need jobs, they need assistance to finish their education. So we're involved with a lot of social service organisations. We're the sort of main link, really, helping these young people. We do a lot of training in medical sphere, education sphere, government agencies, social service, because most of New Zealand hasn't got a clue how to help someone who's come out of a group like this.
No. Would you describe it as a cult?
It is a cult. It's undoubtedly a cult. In fact, Gloriavale ranks as one of the sort of super cults internationally. We're in a lot of contact with cult experts. We've got all the coercive control scales, no doubt about it. And cult is a pejorative term. It's not a good thing. And it expresses the behaviours that are around thought control, emotional control, coercion, information control, etc. It's not about their beliefs. You can have business cults or religious cults. It's about their behaviours of control.
Okay, Liz, when you talked about they came to you, you're based where? Christchurch, Timaru, somewhere on the east coast, are you?
Timaru.
Timaru, okay.
Yes,
That's a
Timaru.
strange place that I remember reading about at the time. It's a strange place for people to go. Why was Timaru? How did that end up as the centre of it all to start with?
You're one of the first couples to leave, second generation, born in, married each other, started having children. They were the first of that kind of group to leave. Rosanna and Elijah Overcomer, they just happened to head to Canterbury where they knew one relative and within a few weeks came to South Canterbury for a farming job. So it was just where they landed and they just happened to come along to our local church. And then it really grew from there. It was evident there was a lot of need, a lot of need.
Okay, so
And
you're dealing
since
with,
then,
when you say a lot of need, how many people would you suggest that the trust have helped since the original couple, the Overcomers, came to Timaru? How many would be on your books, so to speak?
well, our trust started about 7 years ago officially, and then we've been 12 years unofficially, and it was more a church community sort of support. Look, I would say that out of the 300 that have left, we've had connection with 290 of them. Like, the majority who leave are coming through, making use of some of the services that we offer or relationships, friendship, connection. Yeah, it's a large number in our sphere, put it that way.
Okay, so there's 290, almost 300 folk that have come out. They've obviously made contact with you. They're looking for some sort of assistance to integrate into the wider community. Gloriavale's got at least two schools because I see the ERO have been critical of them a couple of months ago in terms of. Do you question yourself as to why Gloriavale is allowed to exist?
Oh, yes, and so does the rest of New Zealand. And it's something that the Leavers have told us they would like us to continue advocating in the sphere. For 4 years, we have been at the Ministry of Education to, look at why Gloriavale has a school and why they're allowed to continue to operate that school in conditions that no other state school, it wouldn't be acceptable. It's been a source of contention. I'm meeting again with the Ministry of Education tomorrow with some former members. It's not our first time meeting or our second, it might be our third. It's like an old squeaky wheel, Michael. They fail an ERO report, they get time to fix it, they fail again. Now there's a little bit more time to fix it. But the big question is, can you ever have emotional safety inside a highly controlling, coercive group? And the research says no. So, end of story as far as I'm concerned. Until they're
Um,
not that kind of group, you know.
right, but Gloria Vale's overseeing shepherd, as they call him, so basically leader, or is Howard Temple, is currently, as we know, in front of the courts for the alleged offending that I've introduced this morning. Having said that, he did apologise in January delivered a public apology on behalf of the church for abuse at the community between 1950 and 1999, following a Royal Commission of Inquiry recommendation last July.
Mm.
What's been the result, or what's been the reaction to that apology from the people that you've been looking after?
The first few days, it was just scorn and, oh, yeah, we've heard this stuff before. They just had to do it because the Royal Commission told them they had to. It was a very narrow apology. They put dates on it and they said, we're just apologising that we really didn't go to police when we should have. And it wasn't a full, wholesome apology. And I don't know any leaver that accepted it and took it as such and believed for a second that it was as sincere as Gloriavale would like you to believe,
I'm
unfortunately.
interested in the people that you've been assisting too, the 290 that you've talked about. Do they? The obvious question is the are the effects of Gloriavale long lasting, or is it something that as they integrate into the community, they are succeeding? Probably have quite a good work ethic, I would have thought, and have integrated successfully. What's been your? I mean, if you had to take that 290 and compare them with 290 people of roughly the same age and background, or sorry, background, yes, we'll do with that, ethnicity.
Mhm.
Would you think that their issues would be as representative of the community, or worse, or better?